Going to the next slide. Okay, so I'll just go through this absence overview. The Workday absence overview. There will be we can divide absence into two parts, that is the time of plans and leave of absence. So the differentiation is simple. Time of plans are very shorter in nature, and leave of absence can be a month, 6 months, 3 months, maybe 1 year or 2 years. So absence component will have two of these modules, and each of them are completely different, and their calculation engines are different. Calculation engine means how we are calculating the balances of time offs and how we're calculating the leave balances. So all these things we are going through this module. That first one I told you is a time of plan and its components. The next one is the validations, who can take, who not can take, why we requesting the time off, what are the things you should keep in mind when you're requesting for the time off. If not, the system will block you from going forward. So those are the validations which we'll be keeping in the plans. And the calculation, as I said earlier, that is the accrual part, how much you will get, how much you will be deducted. That all depends on the calculations which we are set on the time of plans. Next comes the leave of absence, which is very lengthier in duration. And the leave of absence have a separate set of calculations, which we'll come to it later in the stages. And after that, we complete time of plan and leave of absence. Those are two core components of absence. Then we go to the absence management administration. That is actually who can control in an organization to give approvals or who should be eligible for this particular plans. The controlling of the absence module will usually be given to, as per the Workday terminology, we'll be giving to an absence partner. And absence partner will be the top in the hierarchy chain, and he or she, or whoever is handling that position, will be handling the entire absence administration. Coming to the bottom levels, we have managers, senior managers, who are supposed to approve their team's request for time offs and leave of absence. So those kind of administration part will be covered in the absence management administration. Next comes the absence management business process. This is the key engine, how the transaction, by transaction I mean when you're making a request, that request will start and end. Till the starting and the ending, the complete thing is called a transaction in Workday. I'm just getting you used to the Workday terminology, so that when you communicate with your the clients or partners or whoever you're dealing with Workday, they'll be easy, that will be easy for you to understand, for you to make them understand what you're conveying to them. So the transaction is mostly handled like the starting and ending of a request. We call it transaction. The entire transaction is controlled in this business process. So the business process will initiate the request, and going through each and several steps which we have configured in the business trip, it will be completed. So that entire transaction is handled in the business process side. I think we have almost 7 to 8 business process to study. We don't go, most of it is for the namesake of it. Mostly we'll be handling request time off, request leave of absence, request return leave of absence. Five business process, we'll have to get used to it. That is mostly being used in the industry right now. Now comes the next part, is the absence management reports, dashboards, and calendars. That is for the the managers to generate a report on whoever is on leave, who's still on leave and not yet come back, and there is no responses from the resource, from the employee. So those kind of reports we'll generate, and we'll keep a dashboard of it, so each team managers can view the employees who are on leave, who are on time off, and they can also monitor them. Leave of absence is one thing which we need to request the employee to come back and join the firm. It's not like it's automatically the employee will be back to the firm. So those kind of dashboards we'll be creating for the managers to view and make predictions and scheduling as part of these request time offs of the employees and leave of absence of the employees. So those kind of dashboards we'll be going through it. Any questions in the topics which we are going to cover in the absence?
I have one question here. This session is for HCM or finance module?
This is for absence module in the HCM side.
Okay.
I think is there a follow-up question? So basically we're talking about absence module in HCM. So we'll be talking more on the absence side only.
I have a question. So this is basically on the calculations, on the accruals and accrual calculations. I'm not sure what kind of scenarios you would be covering. But what I faced is there's a lot of cases that we get like employee is not getting the balance either in the international transfer or some initiation has happened in the background when we look into the worker history and all, but their balance is not properly calculated. And I mean, such kind of scenarios you would be covering, or is it like generally you would let us know if you give this action, this is the task this is what you'll be ending up. We can hard code the balance, but I've seen many plans which I did not understand. That's the reason I'm here. I really don't know where is the balance in the accrual. That looks crazy for me. But you are you going to cover such kind of scenarios in accruals, in eligibilities, and time offs as well?
So timeouts we won't be touching. I'll just briefly discuss when time off the touch point with since that is in the accrual section. So that will be I'll just cover it in one of the sessions when we're creating the accrual calculations. And when you're talking about international transfers and time of balance not getting updated, that those kind of scenarios we'll have to check how the configuration is made. But in the session, I'll be explaining you how the transfer of balance is happening when you're doing the configuration. So there is a separate, like a separate column, separate dialog box where we can update when an employee is going for international, any scenario, not just for international transfer, when the employee is changing the position he's currently holding or he's giving multiple positions. So in that scenario, change of job. So in that scenario, we can configure another time off and we can ask the absence plan to migrate the balances to the respective time of where he's going to be logging in. So that we'll be discussing, but why the balance is not getting updated, that is kind of a different scenario which we need to investigate. But
because usually, there are a lot of transfers. I've just taken an example as international transfer. Usually, if you give a straightaway balance based on the eligibility and all, usually we end up getting such issues. So are we going to touch base? How do we resolve such kind of a things?
No, this is a training and not a job support. So I'll be explaining how you can configure absence in the first place.
Okay.
Abhishek, yes.
Yeah,
So,
but if there is an enhancement also, in case, if I'm seeing the plan in the customer and even the customer doesn't know what needs to be done, in such case, I should be in a position to let them know that, hey, I think there's an enhancement that is required. So if I understand the plan, are you saying that I should be able to provide them answers on the
yes,
enhancement?
definitely.
Okay.
Once you go through with this training course, you will understand in a generic point of view where you want to touch that particular scenario, where you want to enhance or where you want to add an extra configuration so that you can make the balance transfer work.
Okay. On the organization control as well. So to assume that there is some XYZ organization that should not use a certain plan, and it is, I can just give a small example. If a overtime is given on a time,
let's continue with the demo session. We'll come back because most people don't have any idea about the absence in the course. We'll cover your question is specific to something. We'll cover that in the latest time. Okay, go ahead.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Any other questions from anybody, or I can go forward with the slides?
Go ahead.
Please. Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, Abhishek, for those questions. Yes. Moving to the next part. So I'm just giving a brief introduction about our course. I just given in the earlier slides as well. So we'll be covering the fundamentals of absence, how the configuration is done, how it communicates with multiple modules. So obviously absence is one of the module which has touch base with most of the modules like HCM, compensation, benefits, time tracking, payroll, except for finance side. Most of the other modules in HCM absence have a touch point. So we'll be touching briefly on the most relevant touch points. We'll be going through it. And how the employee, the next part is navigating absence interface for employees and managers. So most of the employees will be like they have a time off plan, and the managers will have another set of time off plans. So there will be differences according to their designation and how we can navigate through such scenarios for an employee and for a different for a manager. And the process of absence request, approvals, and how we can track an absence request. All these will be covered in the session. The heart of the absence module, that is the accrual rules and balance calculation. This is where the prime important chunk of configuration happens. This is where you calculate what is your requirement, how much you can get in a time duration, a specified time duration. We'll be going through that particular session. We'll be calling it as calculation engine. We even payroll, somebody has already been working with payroll, so they'll be understanding it better. So in the calculation engine is shared between payroll and absence. That is the few places where it has been extensively used. So you'll be brushing upon your calculation skills like logic and or conditions, if conditions, and basic arithmetics like multiply, subtract, and add, divide. All these, mathematical as well as logical calculations will have to be put into action here. So we'll go through this in depth in the accrual section. We'll spend most of the time in that accrual calculation. Next comes the eligibility part. That is another additional important thing. So who should be able to apply? For example, in US, there's a leave type called FMLA, or Family Medical Leave Absence. So that particular FMLA leave should be applicable to every employee in US. Okay, and it should not be eligible for employees who's working in UK, for example. UK has a different set of absence policies. So we should have a statutory guidelines, policies when we're creating the absence plan. Based on the statutory guidelines, we'll be creating eligibility. And with that eligibility, we'll be mostly focusing on the worker level information which we have, so that we can create. Okay, just to give an introduction. So basically, Workday is built on object-oriented programming. It's called OOPS. So it is like everything is built on objects. So if you check on the objects, you will get the details of all the information on that particular object. So we'll be working more on the object side of the configuration. And you should be very careful in choosing the object, because there will be, say for example, there'll be two worker level objects. One will be for the HCM side worker object, and there'll be worker object for a different object. So there will be two things, but you should be very clear on what you choose. So the entire Workday ecosystem is built on object level programming. So, and the eligibility rules will be built on these kind of objects. So we should be very careful with that. That will be covered in the session as well. And next comes the reports and analytics. For that, we'll be generating reports on the absence level and for leave of absence as well, and do the analysis for that. But based on what is the requirement, we'll be doing the analysis. And there will be team absence calendar views where the manager can view the entire employee's balances and when he's going to come back, how many leaves he have been requesting, and how much is approved. So those kind of reports and dashboards we'll be working into. It's called worklets. Next comes with the compliances and regulations that we'll be covering with the eligibility and accrual calculations as well. And implementing the absence management best practices, how you should be configuring an absence plan, which is abiding to the statutory rules and guidelines and compliances, which is provided for each country. So if you're building absence plan, a global platform, and you have multiple countries in scope, and you should always check with your requirements. We should be very clear on the requirements when we are creating absence plans. One slight mistake in the requirements can result in a catastrophic disaster. So it is very difficult to repair it. So always adhere to the requirements and the best practices. We'll be going through it soon. Next comes the prerequisites part of this Workday course. Basic understanding of navigational skills in Workday when you go to the tenant, how you navigate between, like pages to pages, and knowledge of organization time of work. So absence is one module where you don't have to have an extensive understanding on what is happening in the background. So as you are all working in some of the organizations and you're soon to be working in some organization, you should be knowing. So once you join, you will be receiving a certain set of time offs, which you can take in your tenure with the organization. That's simple as that. You will get, say, for example, if you complete 1 month, and 1 day will be added to your leave balances for your casual and casual time off plan. So just an example. So once you complete 12 months of your tenure, you'll be having 12 days of time off balance. This updation, how is happening is called accruals. And when you are taking a day off from your balance, that is getting subtracted. That is for the time off coming in. Time off plan and time off are two different things. And accrual is adding and time off is reducing. So it is simple as that. There is no What is happening in the background? Nothing. When you request time off, if you have balance, it goes to the manager. Manager approves it automatically. When you're going on leave, starting from that day to how much ever you requested, that days will be subtracted from your balance. End of story. That's it. It's very simple, straightforward module, but how you configure is what we're going to study in this sessions actually. And yeah, familiarity with HR absence terminologies, basic compliance regulation knowledge, appropriate workday security access. That is another important thing. So not all employees will be exposed to the configurations or for any alterations. Like if a manager is requesting a time off and he himself is getting approving his request, that is never going to happen. We have well-defined security access for every transactions. So that is, we'll be briefly touching upon the security module as well, for just on the who has the authority to approve, who has the authority to correct, those kind of security access we'll be defining. And Workday HCM fundamentals, that is recommended. You should, I'm assuming you have some understanding on the Workday HCM parts as well. How obviously HCM has the entire workers data, which is listed in the tenant. So that is already there. And experience with Workday self-service functionalities. We'll go through in detail with that. Before just going to this, can I just show the tenant to you so that you will have a slight understanding?
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, you can log into the tenant and we can take his question. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so I've got a small question. See, right now, like in the current workplace and everywhere, we have this unlimited time offs and all these things. And also, like sometimes, like what is it called? Frozen holidays, frozen vacations, frozen sick leave, and all these things. Those things are like, say, they are supposed like if a company is moving from a regular time off concept to unlimited. So, whatever the accrued time offs will be frozen for the customers, for the employees, correct? Those are all also available on this Workday portal?
So that is all, configuration level understanding. So if you're saying unlimited time for employees who are working in XYZ company, what we can do is like Workday offers a separate feature for this particular scenario. This we usually use it for, if I understand your question correctly. So we use actually called a term called accrue as you go plan. It is called AAYG in short. That is the accrue as you go plan. So what it does usually is that the accrual is set on the accrual balance is getting overridden with whatever time off you're requesting. Say for the employees requesting 15 days of time off, the time off plan will not have the balance hard coded there or any calculations there. It is just that the priority will be given to the time off request. So the employee is requesting 15 days. Once the request is placed, that 15 days will get automatically updated in the accrual section, and you can avail whatever you're requesting. So there is no hard codes over there. So this is very, very required in the jury duty time off plans, where the employee will not have any clue on how many days or how many months he'll be working for the jury. So he'll get a notice, and the jury will come in saying that you're requested for 15 days of jury service. So he'll request the company's 15 days. Automatically, the 15 days is getting updated as a balance, and then he's getting accrued for that. Because jury duty will be different for different employees. So whatever he's requesting, he'll be getting that particular balance. There is no hard codes or no calculations on that. But in the scenario where you're saying was unlimited.
I'm sorry, I'm just no. See, in the jury duty also, you don't subtract it from your vacation balance, correct? Jury duty is a part of your responsibility as being a citizen. So you don't get to subtract it. So how does the as you go plan will work? See here, you are incurring, you are off, you are not working for the time period, and you are on jury duty, and you are getting paid or by the company, and you are eligible for your holidays also. So this jury, how these are all set up at the tenant level?
Yes, definitely. Yes, these are all set up in the tenant level, actually.
And how about like long-term disability and all these things, long-term and short-term disabilities and all these things? So these things are also like if you're taking customers, if the worker is taking a long-term, short-term disability or parental leave and all these things. So how does these are being configured in the tenant level?
Definitely. All these are very, very common time off plans or leave of absence scenarios you're discussing. The short-term disability or long-term disability leave. Workday supports every statutory guidelines which is laid forward by most of the countries actually. So we can configure this in the tenant, in the tenant itself actually for that.
Hey, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features? Bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
We have calculation.
And these information. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
You can go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. So these are the things that at the tenant level you'll be configuring it, and then these are the information will be flowing to payroll. Correct? Say, for example, like if you are getting a short-term disability, if a 50% of the pay needs to be given, so if if your employee is taking a short-term disability, then only 50% of the salary should be credited. So that part of short-term disability will go to payroll interface. Correct?
So I'll explain that. That's a touch point you're talking about. So when it comes to the 50% pay, 100% pay, that is defined in the payroll side. We'll just give the payroll side how much leave or how much time off this particular employee has taken and what is the absence type he has taken up. And
okay.
So leave of absence, say for example, not even the time of plan, for example, short-term disability leave you have taken. So he exhausted his short-term disability leave, he's moving to long-term disability leave. We'll automatically switch it. There's an option to automatically switch the employee to long-term disability leave. And the entire information will flow to Workday Payroll. And Payroll will understand the employee, how much the employee should be paid. The deduction should be 50% or the earnings should be 100%. That is from the payroll side. We'll just send the information from the absence side, the details of the approved transactions to the payroll side. So that is all supported automatically in the tenant itself.
Okay, so even if for the unlimited, the one which I was talking about, the unlimited one, those are also at the tenant level, correct?
Yes, the unlimited ones, we can actually, that's a very easy step to do. We can give the accrual calculation as unlimited. And so whatever the employee is requesting it's getting approved by the manager. There is no balance to be checked upon actually.
Okay. And say, for example, like if an employee is taking a short-term disability and all these things, and is the concept of the frozen is also there, correct? Like say, I'm coming from a company where we had the PTO concept first. So the PTO concept was like where you have the ability to accrue holiday, vacations, means all the holidays and everything. So when we have the ability to accrue all the vacation, and after that we move to a concept called unlimited. So the employee who has accrued all the vacation will get frozen and it'll be sitting over there. Say then when the time comes, if he wants to use it, he can use it. So will that be a function? These things can be configured, correct?
Yeah. So the balances which the employee has accrued, when you say unlimited, he's not exhausting his balance and he's having another balance.
No.
Okay.
See, right now the current policy is unlimited for me.
That requires a lot of requirement analysis. Sorry, in the interest of time, I'm going to the tenants. Just to introduce you to the Workday tenant, which few of them must be familiar with. For those who are not, I'm just giving you just an introduction on the tenant. So in the tenant, we have this Workday logo. Wherever you are in this page, so I'll just go to some all-time off plans and reports. So to come back, we have reached a lot of places and we need to come back. Just click on here. You can come back to the home page. This is the home page button. And this is a menu bar where you can quickly access some of the required features which you wanted. Say you can configure this as well with whatever requirements of yours. And this is again a home button. So you can go to the home screen or you can go to the absence. I'm not sure if it is there. So for example, manage absence. the manage absence session, since I have a security clearance to do it, so I can see all the absence over here. This is the balances as of date, how many hours you have for every time of plans. So what you see over here is actually time of plans listed over here, which you are eligible to take. And the bottom one is actually the balances you have. These are the informations which you'll be going through in the following session, how it is coming over here, how is the balance getting updated. You can see the requests as well over here, how many in the February month, how much is taken, and April month-wise, descriptions you will be having. And this is basically, it is called an absence calendar. It's called manage absence session, but the one which you see as a calendar is called absence calendar. If you click over here, it's not clickable, so sorry. Yeah, okay, it's not clickable right now. We can see the details of this particular time of actually request. And you can go back to this again to the home page. This is your workers profile, worker profile you have over here. You can go to your view profile, to every employee you'll be working with, find out what the employee is all about and what is his position, what is his hire date. All these things you'll be getting to know over here itself. Which this information is required for you to create eligibility for the absence balances. And again, this is another tab for you. It is called My Task tab, where I remember telling you a business process where when you request for a time off, and automatically the manager gets a notification for the manager to approve the particular time off request. So those kind of things, actionable notifications will be coming over in this section called inbox. It's called inbox. It comes over here. And now comes the notifications. This is where the alerts will come, where you don't have to do any actionable procedures. It's just for your information only. This is actually a very different two things. Don't just get confused with this. This is notification session, and this is the inbox session. Inbox will have the tasks which is assigned to you. So this is the basic idea about Tenant and how to navigate in that. So the few of the tasks which we will be running is actually all time off plans. This is a standard report delivered by Workday, which explains every single time off plans configured in the tenant. Say, for example, there's a sick leave, which is in days. It is to India. It is to employees and employees only. We have Workday also support employee and contract employees. So here, the absence plan is only for the employees. Next comes the balance periods. We'll come in detail to all these things, carryover methods, every information configured for this particular time of plan. We'll be able to see it over here. This is one of the most useful standard report delivered by Workday. And the other one will be all leave families. Yeah. This is the all leave families report. This again is a standard report. We'll have all the information related to the leaves which we are configuring. Again, every minute details are captured in this report. So you can cross-check when you get tenant access. You can go through this leave of absence plans and time off plans as well to understand what are the attributes which you will be capturing and configuring to get you used to this particular configurations. And this is the basic items which I just want to run you with. In the following sessions, we'll discuss more in detail about the tenant and what configurations we'll be doing. Just before that, I'll just also show an example of a time of plan and a leave of absence as well. Take an example of this one. So a basic time of plan configurations will have the name and the display name. Both are different. Name is for in the system only. Display name is what you'll be seeing in your absence calendar and employee level detail that is coming up here. And what type of absence is this? Will it have any impacts in the payroll or not? We'll categorize this so the payroll team can fetch the information of this absence. Again, a track balance is something which you will be tracking in a specified duration of time frame. Say, for example, in the current calendar year, which means whatever is the current calendar year, starting from Jan 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2025. That will be the calendar year. And when you come to the absence side, there is one thing which you have to keep in mind. Every configuration will be referring to the end date or start date of a period. So you have period end date, you have period start date. So every configuration should have a pointer to which of the period you are referring to, either to end date or to start date. That's based on the requirements. This is because an employee can be hired mid-month and he should not be eligible or should be eligible for an absence plan. In that scenario, if the end date and start dates are not defined in the configuration, the system will throw an error and either he'll be eligible or either he won't be eligible. So every configuration, every calculations should reference the start dates, period, end date or start date of the thing. And as usual, we have period schedule, which we'll discuss in detail later. And what is the quantity the employee should be requesting, either in hours or days, two of the things which support by Workday. And then now comes the calculation side. This is basically to understand which frequency, start of the period, you should get the balances or not. And should we include weekends or weekends or only weekdays? That is configured here. Default quantity, what is the default quantity you'll be accruing and all those things. Even though this calculation tab is cost calculation, the actual calculations are happening here in the accrual side. So if I click on this, what I clicked on here is the effective date, which means in absence, everything is effective dated. So when you create an absence plan, the system always asks you till when should it start affecting the employee's balances. So based on the date which we provide, that will be taken as the effective date. From then onwards, the plan details will be coming into effect to the employee's profile. So every configuration will be based on effective date, and here the calculation, accruals should be coming. We'll just go to the accruals, show you the accruals. See the calculation. This is where the main calculation happened. This is a straightforward calculation. We just given a number 10, but sometimes it will be generic. We'll be using several calculation methodologies to come to a value based on the several factors, say compensation grade, benefits type, based on your position, based on your designation. A lot of factors we can create over here and point to a value, which is also called automatically generated. Now, this is the touch point where the time calculation tax, we can calculate based on the overtime hours you're generating. That can be over here as well. Just going back to the time plan. Here's the time off you have. This is the place where you subtract from your accrual. When you are requesting for time off, this is where this kicks in, and you will be subtracting from your accrual balance. Now comes the eligibility. This is a straightforward eligibility. Your country is India. You're eligible for this particular time off plan. That's it. But there are configurations where you have to derive based on the calculations as well. So if I go just to show you this. So I'm updating an existing effective date. I'm not adding a new effective date, just to show that to you as well. See, this is the tab where I can create a plus button. I can create all sorts of calculations here. See, there's a lot of logic calculations, a lot of calculation methodologies for value comparison. Everything is here. Based on these, when you click on this, it takes me to calculation tab where I can give first operand, give less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. A lot of these scenarios would be there. We can create generic calculations for the eligibility and for the accruals as well for the most part. So this is the basic walkthrough of the plan. So time off plan will be part of accruals, a combination of accrual, time off, and calculation and eligibility. So this is the time off plan in short. I'll go to the leave families now. Leave type. Just fetched a new. Okay, bereavement leave is one leave type where it is probably be an accrue as you go plan. Sure. Sorry, not accrue as you go plan. Basically, it is on demand. It won't be tracking any balances, I suppose. Yeah. So this again will have a lot of attributes to be filled upon. This is the worker level eligibility, where two of the countries will be eligible, or to all the employees over here, and it is only eligible for the employees and not to the contract employees. That is one thing. And it don't mean that when you put employee, that means every employees are eligible. This is basically the worker which has a higher priority. Just that. And you're not including any contingent workers or contract employees or nobody. Again, this is the validations which we are going to keep over here. Simple validations, nothing fancy. And balance period. Again, this is just as we see in the time of plan, we have a balance periods mentioned over there. But here we need to define the start date and end date. See, this is the current calendar year, but we cannot directly go and give that. It is from Jan 1st to December 31st. We have the entitlements over here, how much, this is the balance. This is basically the balance which you're giving. So you see 10 over there, this is the numeric one. We can also create calculated numbers over here, which is generated by calculations. Again, this is work days, non-holidays, which means Monday to Friday or whatever working days of that particular country. So you can see the stark differences between time off plans and leave types. This is how it is completely different, but shares a common, somewhere down the road, it shares a common calculations as well. You'll come to know it when you go in depth with the training courses actually. Basically, this is the leave. You can define leave reasons over here. These are the two main components which we'll be working on. And what I've seen, what I showed you in the all leave families and all time off plans, these are standard reports which has been delivered by Workday, which you can run. And this is the reports, one of the reports which we'll be discussing very, very frequently in our sessions. This is one of the things, and I think I'm done with and you can also export into PDF or Excel sheet and work it in the Microsoft Excel or PDF ones as well. So this is the basic. When you see these kind of icons, this is basically to export an Excel sheet. So you can export a document, download it. That's it. This is again PDF.
If you want, I can take over and explain them how the program is delivered. I can talk about the certification and all the help they can get from ZaranTech. Is that okay?
Yeah, perfect. Just go on with that.
So you all have received this document. It's a cohort Workday Absence Training. If you have not received it, you can raise your hand and it's right here. I'll post this. Whatever I'm sharing right now, I will also post it right here in the chat. So please go ahead and, okay, there you go. I'm going to go over this document a little bit because it's, if you can see it, that's great. Hold on, let me just make it a little bigger, okay? So this document has everything. All you have to do is just, if you want to see the detailed course curriculum, just click on it, go to that page, okay? But I'll go step by step and explain you what we can do and how we are doing it, okay? So this is the introduction, the course duration, the schedule, the cost. Yes, the cost is very minimal. I'll come to that, why we do this at minimal cost. And then how to start your career, all of that stuff, you know? Let's go. This is a comparison chart of us compared to Workday to any other training company out there. Curriculum, you've all seen this. It's a standard curriculum from Workday, basically that course itself. If you want to see our Tenant or want to show someone else what your trainer has actually shown you live, the Tenant, here is one thing. And I'm going to tell you this because a lot of people, when they join a training program, don't know the finer details. And I'm going to tell you that. Our Tenant access is provided through the LMS, Learning Management System. Each student gets an access dedicated to themselves. No sharing, nothing. You get that Tenant for that complete duration of that training. 24/7 access. How do you get the Tenant? I will explain you right here in a little bit, but let me go over this document first. Workday certification. Everything that you want to know about certification is right here. I know there's a lot of information on this document, so people kind of skip it. That's all right. I'm here to explain. List of Workday certifications. If you want to know, it's right there. We post a lot of content, If you are not a part of our community, which is right here, Workday Learner Community, we post content from PDFs, guides, interview questions, anything and everything in this learner community. We have 20,000 followers at this point. I mean, there's so much content we post, and every other day we do a live session on YouTube. It goes live streaming, free of cost. A full course training is live streamed. It goes for like about 8 to 10 hours, but the full course is live streamed. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. If you're streaming a full course live of training, why are you charging for it, right? Well, this is a handheld type of training. We hold your hand through the training. You have an instructor. This is a video going streaming live. If you want to learn anything here, go to our YouTube channel. There is full course videos for every course out there. Every course, full course video for every course. Just click here. Go to our YouTube channel and you'll find it, all the courses. I can show you that too. 95% of our business is corporate training. We deliver corporate training. That's our business. We go to the customers and train their employees. That's what we do, 95%. Public batches, like the ones we are doing right now, where students want to join and take a training program, are 5% of our business. With that 5%, we train about 250 students a month. That's the amount of trainings we do. And if you want to access 1,000 plus videos, it's right here. We have over 20,000 videos, which will be coming over. Our goal is to upload at least 4,000 by the end of this year on our YouTube channel, which is right there, youtube.com/@ Workday Learner Community. If you, like I was saying, right, the full courses are right here. If you go to that playlist, you will find full courses for 151 videos. Each video is like about 10 hours. Everything is right here. Learn from it. You want to learn recruiting? Right there. Advanced compensation? Right there. SCM? Right there. Workday expense? Right there. Finance? Calculator? Anything you want to learn, free, right there. Our playlist has quite a lot of courses. Tell your friends. And so let me just post this community first. But if you're not a part of our community, you will never get a ding or ping or whatever, So let me just post that first. Oh, somebody already posted. So that's the community we have. Once you're in the community, please go ahead and click this bell icon and then click on all and save. That way, every time we post, you will get a notification. So that's our community, okay? Now, let's come back to certification. Here are the list of partners we work with, sales and service partners. Out of these partner companies, we work with 3 of them directly. And then we get you certified because they are the ones getting you certified. We just refer you to them. They don't work with you directly unless we have referred. Okay, that's that. Now, this is the certification part. Your Workday Pro Absence Service certification consists of 1 to 2 courses. So let's say your customer wants to get you certified. They will pay for this course for you. They will pay for this course for you. And then they will pay for this certification for you. You will take this course, and you will get certified. You will take the certification. If you clear on the first attempt, you cleared. If you don't, you have 1 attempt. That's all you get, 1 attempt. Then you have to wait 4 calendar days to again pay in the Workday Learning Center. And then, you pay or your customer pays. Now, our course replaces these 2. Again, our course replaces these 2. So you save, let's say, you go over HCM core for administrator, which is 3,200 plus 4,000, 7,200, because these 2 courses are optional. You can directly jump into certification. What we do after our training program, you will have enough knowledge to take this certification.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, we build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
Now, right after your training is complete, we don't refer you to the partner company right away. We won't. We want to see how good you are, because, we don't want you to waste your $800. Yes, when we refer you to the partner company, you have to pay this fees, $800. You have to pay it yourself for $800. There are a couple of things we do. We want you to practice. We want to have you, if you are joining our training program, we want you to have a good attendance. And we want you to complete that training and practice on the tenant. And then come back to us and say, hey, I'm ready. At that point, we will refer you to the partner company. What we want you to do at that point is just when we refer you to the partner company, make sure after we refer and you've paid them, you will obviously get access to Workday Learning Center where you can schedule your own certification exam. And then you will also get access to Workday Community. Most of you already have community access here, which is perfectly fine. But quite a lot of questions comes from the community. We want you to read that. And after you're done with that, before about 3 days or 2 days before that, before your certification exam, we want you to practice on our practice platform. Now I'm going to show you that. Here we go. One second. Give me 1 second. I will have you guys read this. Now I'm talking here more about the Workday HCM, but don't worry about that. We have all this stuff too. And then we have more absence also we have. So now if you see Workday's certification exam has an 80% passing score. Ours is 95%. Also, you will have your certification, basically your certification exam right here. Well, the weight of the questions are like this. The weight of the questions on our exam practice test platform is exactly the same. Now, let me explain you the learning management system and I'll take questions. Okay, I know you have questions here. So park that for now. I'll explain you. When you join ZaranTech for the training program, the first thing you will get once you've enrolled, the first thing you're going to get is access to a learning management system. This can be only accessed from your Gmail ID. If you're logged into your Gmail on another tab, you can open this. As an example, I'm showing you our learning management system platform for Workday Core and Advanced Compensation. All right, just for example. So you're going to get access. You will access your tenant directly from here. Like I was saying, you will access directly by clicking the button and a user ID password will be given. You will log in. It's that simple. You will have the curriculum listed here. So now this is the curriculum for advanced compensation. Again, compensation and advanced comp. You will have access to Workday Job Readiness Program. This is our video training platform access for those who are looking for jobs. Okay. For example, you will have access to resume creation, interview preparation, cheat sheet for resume, interview tips, LinkedIn profile creation, job roles and response. All this you will have access to as a video platform. So you can learn from that at your own pace. Now, I'm going to come back to the materials and job readiness in a little bit, and then I'm going to go to this video. The video section will have all the videos you attend live. I mean, all the sessions you attend live, all the videos will be posted here after the session, obviously, including the session you're attending now. These videos will be available to you for 1 year. Again, these videos are only available through the platform. Our platform is always on cloud. It's on AWS, all of that stuff, good stuff. No, it's on Google Cloud, my bad, because it's a Google site. You can access that anytime. Nothing on our website, portal, anywhere is downloadable. We don't give any download access. All your session meeting links will be posted here. As you can see, meeting link, topic covered, hours covered, meeting link, topic covered, hours covered. Everything is posted right there. Attendance, we are very serious about attendance. Like, as you can see, there are 22 students here in this batch. They're done with 4 sessions, all of that stuff. Now, let's come back to the material section. ZaranTech prepares all the materials for all the courses in-house. We don't take any material from anywhere. We prepare all our material in-house with the help of our experts. So I'll show you one by one. Just take a look at it. So for core compensation, our trainer is training. So he'll have a PowerPoint, which is treated as a guide. 80% of our training is done hands-on on the tenant. Okay, but it helps the student guide them through, okay, what is being covered next, all of that stuff. So this is your session PowerPoint. Then comes your assessment. Again, everything is shared here. You can take a look. Then comes your lab activity documents. All those lab activity documents are posted here too. Your trainer will refer you to this lab activity and go do that. This is how we do our training program. Everything is done here in this way. So now I'll open the floor for any questions you have about the learning management system or any question you have about certification. And then you also get a certificate of completion from us, which you can directly post on your LinkedIn profile. Oh, one more thing I forgot to cover. Okay. If you want to see some real live reviews, not your just Google, Google reviews can be fake too. A lot of reviews can be faked. We've been in this business for 16 years now. So we know in and out of all this stuff. So you can just go here, take past learners directly on LinkedIn. Talk to any one of them. This is just like 1% of our student strength. That person posted their certificate of completion from ZaranTech. Now, certificate of completion is a ZaranTech certification. Okay, so I can't talk today. So you can see the person posted saying that I've completed my HCM code. So that is their certificate of completion. Now, you want to see, hey, how many people got trained and got certified? Here is the list. Again, we try to post, obviously we take their permission first. We try to post directly the profile of that person. You can talk to them. That person got certified after taking the training from ZaranTech. Go ahead, ping them, message them, whatever you want. This kind of gives our students a lot of confidence, but just reach out to them, ask them the right questions, don't bother them. Obviously they have done this to help us out, because that gives our future learners a lot of confidence, so they have completed their training and they got certified in their first attempt. So the list is here. This list is always growing. When we try to put the map, we don't put all of them because, we don't want our learners to be bothered. And then you can see the LinkedIn posts of people who have posted we post the direct links. This cannot be faked. We do post Google reviews also, but we get asked, oh, what if you left your own? We get asked that question all the time. Google reviews are not 100%. We know that too. So, and the cost compared to 299 and here, one second, and 7,200. And for those of you who are working for an AMS company, you have no way to get certified at this point. You don't work for a customer company. You don't work for a partner company. How are you going to get certified? That's where we come in. And then also, we are the only company which has a platform for you to test your own skills. Tell me one platform where you can test your own skill. No one. Literally no one. There is no platform where you can test your skill before the certification, because each certification costs $800. And guess what? Workday certification. If anybody has done an attempt here for certification, you can unmute yourself and talk about your experience, how difficult it is. More than 50% of the people fail the certification because it's tough. They want to keep it very exclusive. They want to keep it niche. That's why the percentage passing rate is 80%. They want to make sure the best of the best pass the certification. But again, I'm not too focused on the certification. According to me, certification is just a label saying that you'll know something, but actually what you know really comes from experience. Like, for example, when I do my own interviews, the first thing I ask is, tell me about a scenario where you had difficulty and how did you handle it? That's my first question. And I'll ask about scenarios. I always ask about scenarios, but that's what I think. Experience matters quite a lot, yes. But these days, when you're looking for a job, you all know the first thing they're going to ask you is, are you certified? That's the first question which comes. And trust me, Workday is a beautiful field right now to get into. Look at the stock price. Look at the stock price, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going up and up and up. Right now, we do Workday Core, and then we have compensation, advanced comp, benefits. We have recruiting, don't know yet. Most of these courses, payroll, we have US payroll. We do because that's a huge, huge demand course. We are going to start Australian payroll because we get quite a lot of requests from Australian payroll. It's a very new payroll which started. Very few people know it. We have 4 instructors who are very, very senior on payroll in Australia. We know them very well, and they're going to do that. Absence is right now going on. Time tracking, we already have that plan. Reporting, we have a Prism Analytics training already. We've done that. Reporting, we are starting. There's so many courses. Yes, absolutely. We do all of these courses. But we've already done most of these courses. Not most. We have already done all these courses for our corporates. Companies, we have already completed all of them. 3 to 4 times each already completed. And those courses we sell as part of our video learning platform right there. So if you go to our video learning platform, if you click on Workday, you will find all the courses, videos of all the courses. But again, that's just a video learning platform. This video learning platform, we sell it to companies, individuals, whoever wants to buy it. I can show you one of the course. The video learning platform is basically self-paced videos. Exactly what the name says. It's self-paced. You learn at your own pace. So you get 28 videos, 24 hours, assignment, labs, case studies, everything you get right here. You can see the number of, you get all the ebooks, everything, the whole 9 yards you get. Session, assignment, lab, everything. I mean, the cursor is still here. See the amount of content we have? Just take a look. I mean, the amount of content here, it's crazy. I mean, take a look. Capstone projects, we have so many. So a huge amount of content here. A lot of people enroll for our video courses because they just absolutely love it and they want to do it at their own pace. There you go. And then you can, you can watch these videos. You can see the preview of some videos, assignment, lab activity. These are all free. And a lot of content we post here are free, like your capstone projects and question answer sets and everything like that. But all right, any other questions about the certification or anything like that? Please.
You mentioned about that payroll when you are having the class, when you're taking the payroll class. So that comprises, you said about the Australian payroll also, correct? Being in US or being in another country, learning, is it worth to learn Australian payroll, or is it, what's advantage do we have?
I can take the question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, on that matter, it is not dependent on your country. It is based on the project and the client's requirements. If the particular client has a lot of firms in Australia and they want to process an Australian payroll, so they definitely will require people who are certified in Australian payroll services as well. And as you know, Workday Payroll is one of the most expensive courses in Workday LMS. And definitely it will be worth. So as a payroll consultant, I'm always eager to complete all the possible payroll countries available. And it is very difficult to get it from the partner companies for multiple payrolling countries. So if it is possible for you, it is always good to have certified in all the possible countries available for you.
What he's trying to tell you, I'll add some value to it. So right now I have consultants because I don't know if you know my profile, but I'll show you my profile. I have a very big profile. I'm connected to quite a lot of decision makers in the US here in the Workday space. I'll tell you something. I have consultants right now who are experts in payroll. They are experts in payroll. They don't say US payroll. They are experts in payroll, US, UK, Canada, Australia, and they make bank. I mean, trust me, they make bank. It's like he said, Matthew just said, it's the highest paid one. Like Pat, if you know the whole thing, it's you can ask what you want.
Okay.
I'll give you an idea here. Let me show. Go ahead.
No. One small question before you just go on that. So when you are offering this payroll courses, so do we cover how is it mainly for which one country or multiple countries?
No. We cover one country at a time. So let me explain you a little bit on that. Okay, let me explain you a little bit. Okay, how does our courses cover? Okay, let me just show you a little bit. Then you will understand. Let me go to the payroll course and I'll open that and show you. Okay, give me 1 second. So I'll open this cohort for payroll. Okay, now I'm going to go to the certification side. All right, just go to the certificate. So when you are certified in Workday Pro US Payroll, understand one thing. Your 4-day course from Workday consists of payroll for administrators. This is common. This is common for every payroll. And a lot of people don't know this. If you have access to the Workday Learning Center, this is free. Anybody can sign up. So you can learn US, Canada, France, Australia, all of it for free. One more time. There is no cost to this on Workday's Learning Center. We cover this and this as part of our US payroll. But this is the most important part. This you can learn on Workday Learning Center yourself. 15 hours of course at no cost. Workday offers it and then get certified. What was that?
Do we need to get paid for the Learning Center?
Do you need to
Workday Learning Center?
No. You get access to Workday Learning Center.
So you get access.
Okay.
No, my question is that, like I was told that one thing is that if you are working for a Workday or anything, then you get some accesses to the Workday community. Is that different from the Learning Center? Workday community and Learning Center are different, correct?
Correct. Workday Learning Center is where you schedule your training programs and you schedule your certifications. Okay. Workday Learning Center is a portal. Okay. So where you pay and add credits. Okay. A credit is this. One credit is $800. So you can pay in Workday Learning Center and add credits. And once you add those credits, you can either take that for a course, for a certification, whatever you can do. All of this only happens once you enroll to our program. Remember that. We don't refer anybody just like that.
Okay, so my question is that, like, to get into this one, we need to get an access to the Workday Learning Center. We need to pay that $800 and get registered with your partner company, and then we will get access to the Learning Center. Then you will have this access to all this 12-hour videos and everything. Correct?
No, not correct. First, you need to enroll to our training programs. Then finish one of the training program. Then you reach out, and then we get you access to the Workday staff, Workday partner companies. And then once we get you access to the Workday partner companies, you work with them directly, and then they get you access to Workday Learning Center once you're paid to them directly. And then once you get access to the Learning Center, then you also get access to Workday community. You learn on the community. Then when you're going for the certification, you reach out to us and we give you access to the practice platforms, and then you practice. And then you go take your certification. Once you're certified, you go do your job hunt and all that stuff.
Okay, thank you so much for clarification.
Any other questions? All right, okay. Good luck. Take care.
I think we can conclude. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, sir.